experience, and we both got the chance to play Severed on PlayStation Vita. How would you describe this game to someone who's never played it before?
First, I would say that it is, because it is a drink box game, there's a feel to it. You know, like if you played Guacamelee or Attack of the Mutant Blob, I forget the exact name of that, Mutant Blob something or other. But if you played those games, you know drink box's style and their artistic take on video games. And this game has all of that in there. It is a Vita-only game. It has a touch interface combat system, and it's a dungeon crawler and swipe fighting mechanics mashup.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mix of like Fruit Ninja and a little bit of, I don't know what would you compare the dungeon crawler aspect to?
I mean,
I've never really seen a dungeon crawler like this before.
Yeah, it is. This is a very light in the dungeon crawling nature of it. It is a like grid-based map system, so like a Grimrock or some any really like classic style dungeon crawler. And then you have the fight mechanics is swiping on the screen, and there's counter moves and there's parries, all based on the direction the monster is attacking you at and the direction you swipe at.
It's a very interesting art style. I found myself wanting to spend a lot of time just looking around instead of going forward through the map. I would just stop and like make sure and turn and look at everything, and I thought it was a really beautiful game.
Yeah, and do you play Guacamelee?
I have, yeah.
So the artist that Drinkbox uses has a very distinct Southern American style, like Mexican folklore, Southern American folklore style, and that's in this game too. And it kind of carries in the light narrative that's in the demo here. It has that kind of feel too, and that art style just totally takes you in. It's so immersive and just beautiful. I love the flat colors, the jaggy of the character design and stuff like that. It's all really cool.
How do you feel about having to constantly move your hands from the buttons to the swipe screen?
Yeah, so I was talking to the developer Chris here about that. Is the trick to the game is finding a way to hold the Vita where you can support the Vita, use your left thumb to continue to move through the world, and your right hand to swipe. And it's kind of tricky, but they've done clever things with the interface to where you can actually put the Vita down on a table and play with it just using swipes only and stuff like that. So they did where when you're in a fight, you'll kind of get surrounded by enemies, but instead of having to flick the joystick around to move around and kill stuff, you can just tap on the icons that represent the enemy and then do the counter attacks and attacks that way. So they've actually thought about that. Like holding the thing is kind of awkward. Like if you played on 3DS what was that game with the angel guy, the remake? Whichever one. They had to give you a tray to put the 3DS on.
Oh, I don't recall what that game was.
I forget the name of it too, but
it's okay.
Yeah, they give you a tray to put the thing on because they like that was the best way they could come up with to solve the problem of having to touch a screen and use buttons at the same time. This is a little more thought out.
The enemy encounters start out very simple, and then they quickly get progressively more difficult. And I remember the first time I encountered multiple enemies, and you're like literally turning from side to side to side, and then back, side to side, as you're fighting these enemies at the same time that are attacking you. I mean, were you feeling the pressure? Am I the only one that was panicking about that?
It gets a little frantic. And I didn't realize at first that you could tap the icon representing the enemies. So you get surrounded, and you see their timers ticking around like, oh, this guy's about to hit me. I need to spin around, but you spin too much, and it's not just like a 4-way access. It's a 360-degree enemy encounter. So it gets a little bit frantic, and it kind of lends to that, like, this game is not a simple mobile game or something like that. There's actually a lot of depth in here, and there's a lot of mechanics happening at the same time, and I really dug it.
Yeah, no, me too. It looks awesome. I really want to play more. In fact, I'm probably going to go play the demo again right now.
Yeah, it's a really cool demo. They said they're shooting for a spring release, which is only a couple months away, and it's rad, Vita only. More Vita games, I think.
Hooray! We've seen so much great Vita love here at PlayStation Experience, so I'm looking forward to playing more Vita games myself.
Rad.
Well, let's go do it, man.
Yeah.